All right, this Sunday is Good Shepherd Sunday. And one of the beautiful things Jesus stresses is that the Good Shepherd calls his sheep by name and they follow him. We see this after the resurrection when Jesus appears to Mary Magdalene. At first, she doesn't recognize him until he calls her by name by saying, Mary. And then she recognizes it is the Lord. Likewise, after the resurrection, Jesus pulls Simon Peter aside on the shore and says, Simon, son of John, do you love me? So why is Jesus calling Peter by his old name of Simon? Well, there's only one other instance in the Gospels when that phrase, Simon, son of John, is used. And it's when Peter had first confessed that Jesus is the Christ. And Jesus had responded by saying, Blessed are you, Simon, son of John, for flesh and blood has not revealed this to you, but my heavenly Father. So perhaps Jesus is taking Peter back to that moment when he had first confessed that Jesus is the Christ, to call Peter out of darkness and the valley of the shadow of death into God's wonderful light, to help Peter recognize he's not defined by his threefold denial or by his shame, but by the mercy of God. So I invite you this week to ask yourself, have I heard the Good Shepherd call me by name? Perhaps there's been times in our lives when we were children, when we heard our parents or teachers yell our name out of anger or frustration. But on the flip side, maybe there's been times in our lives where we've heard a family member or a friend lovingly say our name, and we know how sweet that is. So I invite you this week to sit in prayer and to see how the Good Shepherd pronounces your name, how he calls you by name, because the Good Shepherd leads us into fresh pastures, and ultimately, he wants to lead us into heaven, where not just will he call us by name, but he will add a single word before our name, which is saint.